check this out. This video is entitled Umar Johnson and Tariq Nasheed Part 2, right? Now, I already really said all of what I had to say about them in the first video. So this video was more so for the brain dead, for the stupid, right? And this video is going to be shorter than the one that I just did. For all you people that's been leaving comments on my channel in regards to the first video that I just did, well, not the first video, because this is the second video. This last one that I just did, that was the second video I did about Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson. All right, now the one you all are listening to now, this would be technically the third one total, in total. It's been 3. Let me explain something to you brain dead ass people as to how Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson is a fraud. I am not from Africa. My ancestors was not slaves. There was a rapper, well-known rapper back in the early to mid 2000s by the name of Waka Flocka, who committed career suicide by coming out publicly, damn near at the height of his career, and told you that he was not an African American, but he was an American Indian. And 95 to 98% of the people who call themselves Black and African American are American Indians also. What you're looking at on the screen right here is the Indian Civil Rights Act of 1968. Again, Tariq, Umar, this is not for you. I said all of what I had to say in this last video I did about y'all. This is for your dumb ass followers. Because like how I said before, in the video I did prior to this one, I said I can't blame Umar and Tariq fully simply because they wouldn't be shit if people didn't follow them, if people did their own research. So let me break this down for y'all. You got the Indian Civil Rights Act of 1968. Okay? It was signed into law 7 days after Martin Luther King Jr. got killed, allegedly, right? April the 4th, 1968, Martin Luther King was allegedly assassinated. 7 days later would make April the 11th, 1968. Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Indian Civil Rights Act of 1968. The reason for why your followers, Tariq and Umar, the reason why they don't know this is because that federal government entity that we know of as the United States Department of Education, they took Indian off the title and they took Indian out of the legislation and they just fed everybody the Civil Rights Act of 1968. But if you go to the Library of Congress, whether if it's by way of Washington, D.C., or if you decide to go to their website, you can pull up the actual document that says Indian in the title and all throughout the legislation. Martin Luther King Jr. told you in the most famous speech that he ever gave that the American Negro was in exile in their own land. Those two things alone debunk hidden colors. It debunk it. This is why I don't fuck with Dr. Phil Valentine. This is the reason why I don't fuck with Umar Johnson. This is the reason for why I don't fuck with Tariq Nasheed and any motherfucking body else that had a hand in doing hidden colors. Because they all knew. They all knew what I just said, including Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Yes, I'm throwing her ass under the bus as well. They knew this. Farrakhan knew this. Jesse Jackson knew this. How is it that I can go to the Library of Congress's website and pull up the actual document, see Lyndon B. Johnson's signature and the whole 9 yards, but you gonna mean to tell me that when Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and all of them was rubbing elbows with Thurgood Marshall and all the rest of them cats that was in politics, you mean to tell me they didn't know that that's what Lyndon B. Johnson signed? Of course they did. Of course they knew. And I'm accusing Umar Johnson and Tariq Nasheed of it too. Now, last but not least, before I get up out of here, there is a social media joint on YouTube called The Lost Confederacy. You got 2 brothers and a sister by the name of Chief Biko, Chief Alligator, and Chief Quietwater. Every fucking week, without pause, from since the time that I've known that they existed and I've been subscribing to them. I think it's every Wednesday, as a matter of fact. Every fucking Wednesday, Every Wednesday, they get on YouTube by the name of the Lost Confederacy, and they pull up a screen share of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Indian Civil Rights Act of 1968, the Voters Registration Act, and all this other shit. And they keep pointing out to Umar Johnson, Tariq Nasheed, and they dumbass followers that till this day, Congress has never passed legislation defining a Negro. There is no legislation federally ever recognized by Congress that defines a Negro, an African American, or a foundational Black American. It does not exist. And this is the number one reason for why we get shot down in court. And this is the number one reason for why y'all get y'all ass beat on the side of the road when a fucking simple traffic stop. This is the reason, because they don't recognize you. This is the reason for why I could drive around with an expired license that I have no intentions on renewing, and this coming June will be 2 years that has been expired. And this is the reason for why I can travel in an automobile and not worry about the cops pulling me over, because you know everybody get pulled over. But I ain't worried about them fucking me up. And I'm not worried about spending no fucking time in jail. You know why? Because I don't consider myself to be no fucking foundational Black American. You know why? Because it don't exist in law. Negro don't exist in law. African American don't exist in law, but an American Indian does. Last but not least, why in the fuck would you want to be called the foundational Black American when they've been changing their identity all this time? For all you slow, sleep, goofy ass people that follow Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson should know they've been changing their identity all this time. Hell, Jesse Jackson helped them in 1988 with that African American shit. The whole Hidden Colors thing was a fucking lie. And I have to say it this way because if y'all go back and look at the last video that I did entitled Umar Johnson and Tariq Nasheed, all you'll see is people calling me a bunch of pronouns and shit. But can't nobody talk about nothing specific in the video about where I'm lying at about these motherfuckers. Hell yeah, I got a problem with somebody like Umar Johnson when I seen a biography of you, it say you are a citizen of the United States of America and your nationality is a fucking American. But you going around preaching some fucking bullshit. Yeah, I got a problem with that. Yeah, I got a problem with a motherfucker calling me a foundational Black American. It don't exist in law. It is not honored by Congress. It don't exist. But yet you can get a patent and trademark, and then if I turn around and put that term on a t-shirt and wear it, he could charge me for that. You know why? Because it's called trademark infringement. Denzel told you that in American Gangster. What did he tell that nigga? He say, when you take my dope and chop it down to 2, 3, 4% and call it blue magic, that is trademark infringement. And that's the same thing that Tariq Nasheed can pull for any of you motherfuckers who don't understand what patent shit mean. Y'all have a good fucking life, because I promise you I won't say nothing else about them. And I ain't just them. It's Jesse Jackson, it's Al Sharpton, it's Louis Farrakhan, it's all the rest of them. Y'all have a good one.